Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Dream Launch TV. I'm excited to have you here. And this show, for those of you that are new, welcome to the show. It's focused on how you can create your dream business online. And I'm excited to be doing that myself and excited to be featuring others who are doing really powerful work in the world and living their dream, creating their dream business online. So as you may know, if you've been following along, our show is now 30 minutes. We get right to the point, sharing with you, what's really working for us in our businesses. And I'm excited to be featuring one of my good friends, Vanessa Horn. And so let me tell you a little bit about her. She has a lot she wants to share with you today on the show. So let me share a little bit about her. What we're going to be focusing on is discovering the unlikely secret to easy selling without rejection. And Vanessa is the CEO of Vanessa Horn International. It's a global business and personal development company and is a sought-after speaker, trainer, and the author of the book, I'll Have What She's Having. I love that title. And I'm seeing her everywhere myself. She's on shows everywhere, on TV everywhere, just really doing amazing work with her business. And she has successfully built and sold several businesses, and her training and coaching has been used by more than 7,000 heart-centered entrepreneurs to rise to the top of their industries without burning out or selling out. Her Profit with Honor prospecting system is a proven system to attract an endless stream of prospects and effectively close without having to be salesy or pushy. Vanessa has been featured as an expert guest on several Fox, NBC, CBS, and ABC News and morning shows across the country. She holds an MBA in entrepreneurship, and she and her husband of 15 years and their 3 young sons live out in North Carolina where it's snowing, enjoying a snow day, right, Vanessa? Yeah, so I just want to create space to have Vanessa share because, of course, we could be on for hours just with what she's doing, and it's working so effectively for her and her clients. So I'm excited to welcome you to the show, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me, Maribel. It's a pleasure to be here. I totally love what you're doing, what you're creating, and you and I align so much with our values of putting family first and creating businesses that aren't compromising to what we really want to do in the world. So I just love being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad we could squeeze some time out with you. I know with your busy schedule and also being a wife and a mom, and I know how that is on my side. So why don't we dive right in? If you want to share a little bit about you for those that are new to you, and I know, of course, you have lots of great tips today.
So today we're focusing on the message of what is the unlikely secret to easy selling without rejection. I originally left corporate America and went into building my own business, and I underestimated the power of sales and how important it was going to be to my business. I had a mentor back in college that I had asked him, what do you recommend I go into? What do you think I should focus on in my career? And he said, Vanessa, go into sales, because if you learn how to sell, you will never be without opportunity or income. And it's transferable no matter what industry you choose. And back then, I was like, no way, I'm not going into sales. You know, salespeople are sleazy and pushy, and that's just not me. But it was when I was in corporate America realizing I wasn't going to have the flexibility that I wanted unless I took some real risks. And that's whenever I dived into entrepreneurship, and that was over 10 years ago. And the first thing I did was I opened up a franchise, and we did fantastic in that. And again, that was all because of sales, really enrolling people into, this was a gym, so their fitness goals. And then I went into network marketing. That was really my own business representing another company, but we did phenomenal in that, and it was in sales, right? So I was a little bit surprising myself because even to this day, I don't necessarily consider myself a traditional salesperson. As a matter of fact, I remember one of my corporate reviews from one of my employers said, Vanessa, you're fantastic. You really, own what you do, and you work extremely hard, but You could be a little bit more assertive. We want you to be more assertive. So here was a non-assertive person, and I was seeing success in sales. And so what I'm doing is I've launched out in my coaching practice over the last couple years is really helping other individuals, whether they're network marketers, coaches, or people who are engaged in the art of enrolling others. And it could be enrolling them into a cause, it could be enrolling them into a mission, it could be enrolling them into a sales or into a service or into a product. And that's all of what falls under the umbrella of sales. However, I see that the number one thing that holds people back from truly experiencing the success that they can have is some of these stigmas, some of these things that hold us back in our mindset with regard to sales. And it's things that, one, the fear of rejection, two, the work it's going to be to pick up the phone and call somebody, or spending those conversations with individuals. And it's all of these things that hold us back from really having the breakthrough that we can have in sales. And so when I started looking at my own career, the businesses I was able to create, and then here as I was launching as a coach, and really seeing that the times that I aligned myself with this unlikely secret were the times that I saw the biggest reward financially in seeing people eager to work with me. So my book is called I'll Have What She's Having, but the premise of those principles are the same things that I use in business that has people say, I have to work with you. And so what are those things? The unlikely secret is, what is your purpose? And we're accustomed to hearing, what is your why? And I have a different twist on it. Because frequently when we draw up our vision boards, or we're asked to describe why we're going into business or why we're pursuing what we're doing and building our business, the temptation is to start, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I challenge going deeper. The temptation is to, put up the pictures of the mansions, the yachts, the vacations, and all these things, thinking, okay, if I put that out there, the financial freedom, the financial choices that I believe I will be afforded when I see success, then that'll motivate me to go out and make it a reality. But the thing that I've seen in my own businesses and with the entrepreneurs that I've worked with over the last several years is the fact we have to tap into a sense of purpose that is mission-oriented, that is about others, that is about what transformation are we affording in their life that drives us, because we associate it with either a pain that we've experienced in the past that we are unwilling to see them continue to experience, or ones that we have the empathy to know that they could be experienced and we no longer want them to experience it. So let me be really specific in what this looks like. So let me give you a couple examples of what we've done with some of my clients. And this gets to finding out our purpose is embedded in one of three things. And sometimes it can be more than one of these two, but it's in our story, it's in a struggle that we've either overcome or are overcoming, or it's in our soapbox. And so I love to dig the details of someone's story and find out, okay, what is it that's brought you to this place in life? What has made you be the person that you are? And generally in that process, there's a gem that is their unique gift to offer the world. And so, for instance, one gentleman that I was working with, that we did a live Google Hangout just like this, and his gift of what he does, the service that he provides in the world, is really helping people take advantage of the platform of Facebook and getting their message out through that. And he has a really fantastic app that plugs into Facebook and helps you be communicating with your ideal clients. And so we're doing this show together, and we did it as a live case study, and it was tapping into, in his own story, he grew up the son of a family that had a bakery, and so he saw his own parents struggle by being owned by their small business. He saw there was no way that they had additional time to experience and go out and research how to market themselves better. He saw his parents like struggling to be working. They were working almost around the clock with the bakery, you could imagine. And I always connected that pain that he'd experienced in his past as helping the entrepreneurs that he was helping today with his application. We're talking. I said, look, do you see how you're helping small business owners not be owned by their business? And you're helping to do the marketing on their behalf so that they can be freed up and not be owned by their business. When he tapped into that mission that was an underlying drive for what he was doing, it propelled him to be even more motivated on the days that, you know how it is as an entrepreneur. It takes stamina, it takes emotional fortitude to press forward when we're facing challenges and to keep going. But it gave him that emotional fortitude to say, you know what, I don't want anyone to experience what I went through as a kid and see my parents owned by their business. And it helped him to see in his own marketing materials how we could infuse this story. So I asked him, out of your 10 employees, how many of them know this story? How many people know that this is the driving reason why you're doing what you're doing? He wasn't even conscious. And he said, out of my 10, probably 2 know this story. And I said, out of your 20,000 customers, how many of them know? And he said, I don't know that many of them do, that any of them do. And so we're sharing this story live, and as you can imagine, the number of responses that started coming in of people interacting and responding through the Facebook, saying, oh my gosh, I didn't know this about you. It just infused this passion of inspiration into his clients to know what he was doing and why he was doing it. And it inspired others to be more behind the mission of his work. Now, this is what I believe. Us as business owners, it's important for us to tap into that for ourselves. It's important for us to help our clients tap into that for themselves, because then it makes it about the fact that there is no way that I can hold back in sharing this message in the world, because it's designed to help set captives free. My work is designed to help set captives free. So what has to take place in order for me to be set free so that I can go out there and powerfully help others? And I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's extremely powerful and was the foundation for my tapping into my mission in the work that I was doing. And it's the movie called Schindler's List. And it's based on a true story. Steven Spielberg produced the movie, and it's about a German businessman who, during the Holocaust, transformed his own life to see how the platform of his business, his factories, could help set captives free. And so instead of just being focused on profits, he started looking at, how can I save as many Jews from having to go to concentration camps, and they come instead and work in my factories? This is relevant how us as business owners, we have a platform, we have a business to help set captives free. So at the very end of the movie, Oskar Schindler is presented by 1,100 Jews who have been saved by his efforts. 1,100 of them who they so preciously all contributed any little bit of gold that they had in their teeth to be melted down to create a ring for him in gratitude. And inscribed on the ring, it said, "He who has saved one life has saved the world entire." And when I saw that movie, I said, that's what I want my life to be about. I don't want to just be caught up in the greed of life, of trying to have my own financial needs met. How can I help set captives free? And I believe each one of us, no matter what it is that we're using as our vehicle of service to the world, that we can infuse it by being mission-driven underneath it all. And so my work became, okay, I want to coach the Schindlers of the world who are driven with a mission to help as many people as they can. Now, why do I choose the platform of business? The reason is because The number one issue that people have when they put their head on the pillow at night is generally money related. They are so caught up, the majority of individuals are caught up with how are they going to pay their bills, how are they going to pay for their children to go to college, how are they going to be able to afford their retirement, all of these kinds of concerns that keep us stuck in the cares of this world, that keep us stuck on us focused. And so when I look at business and what kind of platform of transformation we can offer by helping, I see it as, okay, if I can help another entrepreneur make more money, I can help elevate them to use their platform for making a difference and not be caught up on just the concerns about their own financial concerns of life. And so it allows us to tap into that and see how can I use my work in the world to contribute to the betterment of others. One of the critical pieces in tapping in to our purpose is that we cannot operate and go fully forward in working in it unless we can put ourselves aside and truly come from a place of service to others. So our purpose helps us identify what we're doing, but who we are identifies the effectiveness and how we're going to deliver it to the world. And so one of the key steps in being that kind of person that is an influencer and has people enroll and say, I have to work with you, people who say yes to an invitation to going further with you, people who say yes during the sales conversation, is the way that you're showing up. And this is what I call the anatomy of an influencer, who we are, how we show up, so that we're honoring ourselves and we're honoring the person that we're with. And that has such a significant impact on people. It's that whole know, like, and trust factor that has people say, I have to work with you. How do you cultivate that? So working from the top down, this is the posture that I like to consciously keep myself in and help anybody who's an entrepreneur or in this sales role to be conscious of for themselves. So one is I'm making certain that they see their success as a done deal. So it's not about I have to get this sale to accomplish my goal, or I have to accomplish this for my own gain. But if you can truly see your success as a done deal, then it allows you to be fully present for the person in front of you so that you're coming from a place of service. So the top of the anatomy starts with our mind. And our mind says, how can I see the future state of possibility in this scenario so that I'm coming from a state of curiosity with this person in front of me and ask questions. And I love what Albert Einstein said. He said, I don't have any particular talents. I'm just passionately curious. And when we come from a place of passionate curiosity in our sales conversation, it allows us to find out, because the definition of being pushy is trying to sell something when it's not the right fit. But when you're coming from a place of service and you're saying, I'm curious, what kinds of needs do you have that I could potentially serve? Then we can come from a place of service and not being pushy. The eyes of an influencer say, how can I see this person for who they are, so that it's not my own agenda that I'm placing on them, but I can come and really examine it and see who they are. The ears of an influencer say, how can I listen so deeply that I'm not so concerned about how I'm going to present what I have to offer them, but I can instead listen intently to what exactly they're trying to accomplish in life. The mouth of an influencer, the words that we speak, have life and death in them. They have the power of life and death in them. And I love what the meaning of the word inspire is, and it says to breathe life into. And I believe as an individual who's in a sales position, or as entrepreneurs, we have the capacity to breathe life into people by holding them to the highest version of themselves, by speaking into who we see who they are as a person and edifying that. Not just what their accomplishments are and what they're up to in the world, but edifying who they are as an individual. And I believe that our words have the capacity to paint the picture of a vision that we see of what they can accomplish by taking action on that dream that they have. The heart of an influencer is coming from a place of love and is open-hearted. The hands of an influencer are here to serve, not here to get. The feet of an influencer are willing to go boldly where no one else has gone before. The feet of an influencer say, how am I willing to get out of my comfort zone to serve this person? How am I willing to get out of the things that would hold me back and instead be fully present for the person in front of me? And lastly, the elbow, the arm of an influencer comes alongside that person that we're serving and says, I'm guiding you in this. Take my arm, like a gentleman would take a woman's arm and walk with her. We're guiding them. So many times I see heart-centered, principle-centered entrepreneurs and sales individuals, they're not being bold. So they're not using those feet to willing to go bold, and neither are they guiding with the leadership to say, look, based on what I'm hearing, what I hear you need, here's what I recommend we do. Let's go together. And you're taking their arm and you're guiding them through the process. And so when we come, there are three distinct things that I teach in my Profit with Honor program is honoring ourselves. So that's where the piece of our being in alignment with our purpose, not compromising our authenticity and who we are, honoring the person in front of us, and that's where the anatomy of an influencer comes in, and honoring the process. Guaranteed, in no matter what kind of role that we might be in, whatever our field is, that we can break down the process. And when I work with my clients, I break down a distinct process where they're taking their prospect through the process so that they're virtually closing themselves. They're closing 100% of the right people. And so they can have that assurance in walking through that process of knowing how do you come from and say words that are honoring of others? How do you gain permission to ask questions that are powerful for that person to make a decision that's best for them? And it's all about saying, hey, I'm here to serve you. Let me just make sure you get the information you need to make the decision that's best for you. And when we have such assurance and confidence in the work that we're doing and the transformation that it offers, we can speak with such powerful results-oriented language to the kind of what people are accomplishing by taking action on what might be our service or the product that we're offering them. And so it is that. It is tapping into that deeper source. And let me tell you, Maribel, I did a launch. This is really interesting. You were such a wonderful support during that season. You're the Dream Launch mentor. And I was in the middle of an online launch because it's only been recent, really since last summer, that I've been taking my message online. And I was going through all of this entire process of bringing exposure to my program, my Profit with Honor program, and really helping entrepreneurs to take their business to the next level. But I wasn't in alignment. When I was in a place of burnout, I was getting worn out by the entire launch process. It was costing me a boatload of money with Facebook ads and a team that I was paying to roll everything out. And I thought, oh my gosh, am I even going to be successful with this launch? And when I got tapped in, I had to experience for myself a reconnecting with why I was doing what I was doing and my sense of purpose, that thing that keeps me so alive, which is, the message of my book, and that I'll have what she's having. I was like, I am not living an I'll have what she's having life right now. What do I need to clean up to bring that into alignment? And it happened quick. It happened over the course of a weekend. And the question that got me in touch with that was, Vanessa, if this was the last year of your life, what would you do? What would you do? And it helped me see, okay, here's things I'm doing that are not in alignment with what I would do if it were the last year of my life. Here are the things that help me be even more fine-tuned in the mission, work, and purpose of what I'm doing and what I'm doing. Then I cleaned that up over the course of a weekend, so when I did my launch, no lie, the number of people who scheduled consultations with me, what I call a breakthrough session with me, I had a 90% closing rate that week of the launch because I was in alignment. Because people see that and they say, okay, I'll have what you're having. I want that. Even without other things being in place. It doesn't have to be perfect. If we're in alignment with that and we're operating from that place of purpose, then we can be powerful. And it's our powerful self that gives the confidence of the person in front of us to work with us with assurance that they can get the results that they want. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, thank you, Vanessa. I know you had so much to share, and I love that you were able to give us so much in the little bit of time that we had. And of course, I've witnessed the quantum leap. You know, you're everywhere, expanding once you just tapped into your purpose, right? And really getting into alignment. I saw that too. It's really been amazing, and I love I just want to highlight, I know we have a couple minutes, we could probably take one question, but I want to highlight this anatomy of an influencer and just the power of that and the reframing of being there in service, because who we're talking to are heart-based entrepreneurs. You know, we're talking to people who love to serve, and this is how you can serve in the sales conversation. So I love the way you laid it out. I've never heard it laid out like this, so that was awesome. And I just want to acknowledge you, Vanessa. Someone, Casey, wanted to share, you know, Vanessa has such great knowledge. This is very helpful to motivate a sales blueprint based on my goals. Thanks, Maribel, for putting this event on. And we also have a question. So, Vanessa, this is for you. I'm not sure how I can influence the world. How can I start figuring this out? And I'm going to give you space to answer, but also, before I do that, Vanessa, I want to make sure people know how to connect with what you've also shared as a gift for those that are listening. So I'm going to share that, and then if you want to share your response. But Vanessa has a gift. She's talked about the power of connecting to your purpose, and she has a gift called Discover Your Purpose. So it's at vanessahorn.net/discover your purpose. It's available for those that are watching. That's the direct link you can access. It's everywhere, so click the button if you want to access that free gift from Vanessa and stay connected to her and what she's doing. She's always, you know, sharing a lot of free trainings and access to, of course, her directly. She has programs available as well that she mentioned, but I'll give you a minute, Vanessa, if you want to answer. Where does somebody start to, you know, figure out how they can influence the world?
So I have and you know, to make a distinction, that sense of purpose and mission is the underlying reason why you're doing what you're doing. Like, I was having a conversation with a friend last night, and she's like, I don't know, I help people with Google Hangouts, but, you know, is that really changing the world? And I said, whoa, 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 stop a minute. That's just your vehicle. Your vehicle could be anything you want it to be. Let's anchor it on things that are meaningful to you and that are your mission in the world. And I said, your mission is to help people be fully authentic. There's no better way than being on camera and being fully seen. Your mission is to help people get their message out and their voice to be heard in the world. What better megaphone to use than to use a Google Hangout? And you're helping to empower entrepreneurs. Look at the mission of using a Google Hangout for that. So we anchored her vehicle on what was her purpose and mission to do a bigger work in the world. So for you personally, I don't know what your work is as far as your vehicle that you're using, but I do in the workbook, and that starter kit for Discover Your Purpose, it will walk you through some questions that are around your soapbox, your story, your struggle. And what I want you to get to the root of, it's like a onion, pulling back the layers of the onion till you get to that point that creates a visceral response in you. I always look for that with my clients. I look for what's that visceral response that's coming out that will bring them to tears, because they know that's what they're created to do, and they want to help as many people as they can. And that workbook, that starter kit, will help you walk through that process for yourself. But I want you to pull back the layers of the onion that say, okay, why do I want that? And why is that important to me? And why? And keep pulling it back until you get that visceral response that says, that's it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I have to do it. Doesn't matter if I fail, I have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Vanessa. And I think you're right on. At least in my own life, it's usually that biggest challenge, the biggest pain, and flipping that around. And of course, I've had that, and that's why I do the work that I'm doing today, to support others moving through some of the things that I went through. So I would look there, and then of course I invite people to access the Discover Your Purpose Starter Kit, because it also includes an audio workbook. I mean, that could be the next step to kind of peel the onion, as Vanessa was talking about, to be able to sit there and reflect on your biggest obstacles and why you're doing what you're doing and tapping into that purpose. So I totally agree. I want to thank you, Vanessa, for being on the show today. I love what you shared. I took tons of notes, and I know those that were listening, those that are listening to the replay, will get lots of gold in this call together, this show. So thanks again, Vanessa. Thank you all for joining us today on the Dream Launch TV, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. Join us again for our live show. Thanks again, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, shoes.